Hey there, church family. Each day this week, we are looking at what was going on in the life of Jesus on that particular day during his last week here on earth. And yesterday, Pastor John told us a little bit about what happened in the life of Jesus on Monday. But now it's Tuesday, and now Jesus has gone back into the temple, and he's having some interactions and he's having some discussions with some of the Pharisees. So let's look and read just briefly in Matthew 21, starting in verse 23. And when Jesus entered the temple, the chief priests and all the elders of the people came up to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" And Jesus answered them, "I will also ask you one question. And if you tell me the answer, then I will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, where did it come from? Did it come from heaven or from man?" And they discussed it among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe him?' But if we say from man, we're afraid of the crowd, for they all hold that John was a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We don't know." And Jesus said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." So here we find ourselves inside the temple again. And here the religious leaders are trying to get Jesus to misspeak so they can catch him in a trap and prove him wrong for who he claimed to be. To them, Jesus is still a kid from Nazareth. He is the son of a carpenter. He is untrained formally in the law. And to the religious leaders, Jesus proposes a threat to the Jewish leaders and the Jewish way of life. So they're trying to catch Jesus to get him to misspeak. So here, in this interaction, Jesus uses three different parables to point out that the religious leaders of this time, they are being self-righteous and they are rejecting God's grace. He tells them the story of the parable of the two sons, the parable of the tenants, and the parable at the wedding feast, all at a point to show them that they are rejecting God's grace and they're being self-righteous. So Jesus uses these three parables to show them that he is in complete control as he speaks to the hearts of the Pharisees. The Pharisees are trying to be in control with this conversation with Jesus, and Jesus is in complete control as he speaks directly to the heart of the Pharisees by using these three parables. And something I think we can learn from Jesus' conversation and Jesus' interaction with the Pharisees here in the temple is that we are reminded in the midst of this pandemic, but then also really in any situation that you and I face in life, Jesus is in complete control. And as he's in complete control, he speaks directly to our hearts no matter what the situation. He speaks to us through his word. And I think that's a great reminder for us as we are in this time of a pandemic. We're all sheltered in place. We can't be around our friends and perhaps those that we love. And we're kind of wondering, where is God in the midst of this? This story reminds us that God is in control and he speaks to our hearts in whatever situation. As we spend time with God in his word, he points out things in our life that he wants to change. He points out things in our life that they're godly and they please him. So I want to challenge you, church, to take advantage of some of this additional time that we have now while we are sheltered in place. I want to encourage you to take this time and to spend more time with God and his word. He's still in control. And as you spend time with God in his word, he speaks to your heart. He leads you in life and he makes you more into the image of his Son. So I want to challenge you to spend this additional time that we have now as we reflect on, and as we remember this time of year that Jesus came. He lived a perfect life here on earth, and that he was crucified on our behalf. But then 3 days later, he gloriously rose from the dead so that you and I could be saved. That's the God that you and I get to spend time with. We get to spend time with a God who is attentive to us, to a God who loves us, and a God who loves to spend time with us. So use this time to spend more time with him. And as we think about Sunday, and as we have been praying for our one, and as you've been praying for your one, I want to encourage you to invite them to watch our service online this Sunday for Easter. I want to encourage you to invite them to watch online virtually with you, and they'll hear the gospel. They'll hear how Jesus came to this earth and how Jesus died for their sins. And if they place their faith in Jesus, they too can have a relationship with God and spend forever with him one day in heaven. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, church, and we hope to see you soon. God bless.